Hello and welcome to IPMAP, the complete map to your IPM journey. Today I'm going to tell you everything there is to know about IPMAT Rohtak. I'm Ayan Bhargava and I am Rohtak student. So without ado, let's start with this presentation. First of all, I'm going to start with some inside info about our college. Firstly, we have a student activity center, which is like the clubhouse of the college. The student activity center has a place for badminton, gym, a table tennis setup, a carom board, and so on. It's the place to be if you like sports. Next, we have a Nest Cafe, which sells a lot of variety of food, ranging from Maggi to pasta, from aloo patties to paneer rolls, and so on. Next, we have a sumptuous dhaba food. So it's basically delivered by a dhaba close by. His delivery time is like very less and the food tastes amazing. But the best part is that the dhaba owner is very courteous towards IIM students. Next, the internship stats. This is not something commonly discussed outside IIM Rohtak, but there have been problems with respect to students selecting this college based on the fact that IPM students have not graduated from IIM Rohtak right now. So this year, finally, our first batch was placed in internships. So there have been reports stating that our batch students have gotten into companies such as Bain and have been offered really good internship packages as well. Lastly, I would like to stress upon the uniform or the t-shirts which we have. I know you would be thinking that who has a uniform in college, but actually it's pretty good. It's like you could decide to wear the same color with your friends on the same day or something like that. Because we do have multicolor uniforms of 4 different colors. Moving on. Finally, we come to the main part for which you are watching this video. The components of the selection process. Now, there are 3 components to this selection process: the IPMAT score, the interview, and your past academics. IIM Rohtak has also released a detailed list of how these components are evaluated and the weightage these carry. First of all, let's talk about the IPMAT score. It's the most crucial component of your whole weightage. It has a weightage of 45%, and let me make it known first only the people who cross the cutoff of the IPMAT exam will get to be evaluated based on their interview and their past academics. So make sure that your prime focus right now is the IPMAT score, not your interviews. And anyways, about past academics, if you're not giving your 12th board exams, everything is done and dusted. And if you are, then you should not be watching this video. Next, interview. If you are selected after the IPMAT Rohtak examination, you will give an interview. This interview is usually conducted by 2 panelists who are faculties of IIM Rohtak itself. It's conducted on Zoom or WebEx based on the medium they prefer, and both have been conducted. Now, this interview is not one of your average school interviews. It will test you on your personality, it will test you on your general knowledge, it will test you on your previous academic knowledge, and so on. So you need to ensure that you prepare for this interview. But then make sure that this stage comes after you have given your IPMAT. Moving on, past academics. This section is something which you cannot manipulate a lot, provided that you are not giving your 12 board exams. The past academics have a weightage of 40% in all. Grade 10 marks have a 20% weightage, while the grade 12 marks have a 20% weightage. Your board marks do matter. So make sure that you do have a good board score, and if you do not, then you can always cover up in your IPMAT score. So you need to study the double. No offense. Lastly, the interview has a total of 15% weightage. So I'll enumerate the final weightage scores: the IPMAT score with a 45% weightage, the interview score with a 15% weightage, and the score of the past academics with a 40% weightage, 20% each to grades 10th and 12th. Moving on. The timeline. For the timeline, I have also said this in my previous video, which you can check out on our YouTube channel, or this channel only. So let's go again. 10th April is the last date to register for IPMAT Rohtak. 20th May is the date on which IPMAT Rohtak will be conducted. In the June 1st week, you'll be receiving your call for interviews as stated in the PPT itself, and in the June 2nd week, your interviews will be conducted. Now, let me say from past experience that the most crucial moment, the place where you will be hanging on to the thread of life or the curiosity in you will be aroused, will be the time past the IPMAT Rohtak until the time you get a call for the interview. I would say that do not utilize this time in stuff like worrying about the results or something, but maybe prepare for the interview because that's what I did. Moving on, the final selection list will be announced in the July of first week and the college will start in the first week of August. Next, we have the eligibility. Now, there are two criteria to meet the eligibility. First is your age. As stated in the IIM Rohtak handout for this year, your age should be 20 years at the max as of June 30th, 2023. One thing to note over here, which is different from IIM Indore's criteria, is that no age relaxation has been offered to the candidates belonging to the SC, ST or PWD categories. One more thing, last year as well, this age relaxation was offered. So this is something new from IIM Rohtak's point of view. Next, the second thing which determines your eligibility for IPMAT Rohtak is past academics. Once again, your past academics do matter. You should have at least 60% grades in both your 10th and 12th examination. Now, those people who have not completed their grade 12th examination right now should be completing their grade 12th examination by June 2023 and they should be getting 60% marks in them as well. One more thing about this, the candidates belonging to the SC, ST and PWD category are eligible at scores above 55% as well. Moving on, let's talk about some other important information mentioned in their handout. Firstly, the number of seats. The number of seats is a matter of contention every year, and debates take place on this in Telegram groups across forums. So, first of all, might I just add, IPMAP has its own Telegram group which you could follow, and you could ask advice to any of our seniors. Moving on. This year, IIM Rohtak has increased the number of seats to 180. Now this is a huge number and it also means that you have a higher chance of being selected for this program. One more thing which this means is that this program is going strong. Rohtak intends to keep this program going. Moving on, this number of seats also includes the various reservations offered to candidates such as 10% for the EWS category and other government mandated reservations for the OBC, SC, ST and PWD categories. Next, the form and the fees. The fees as stated in the handout is Rs 4,175 and it is non-refundable under any circumstances. So ensure that you do want to go out for this, do want to give this examination because that's a huge amount to pay. Might I add, right now you may feel that this is a lot of money to pay for, but as I gave my test in Mumbai, we had a test center operated by TCS Ion and it was truly amazing. Definitely worth every rupee they charge. Moving on, while filling the application form as stated in the handout, you will be required to fill in details about your past academics as well as extracurriculars. Ensure that you put in every consequential extracurricular you have done, as this stuff does matter during your interview. One more thing I'd like to add over here, Rohtak is a stickler for rules. Rohtak wants your mark sheet notarized, so make sure that you do notarize the mark sheet and do not forget to do that, as it's not good if you forget to do that. Also ensure that you do not get your original mark sheet notarized, but a photocopy of the original one. The notarization thing can be done by any notary around you. Moving on. Now we finally come to the mountain, the paper structure. As said by IIM Rohtak, the IPMAT Rohtak for this year will be divided into 3 sections: quantitative ability, logical reasoning, and verbal ability. Each section will have 40 questions and 40 minutes each. Might I just add that the time limit as mentioned, the 40 minutes each thingy, is not usually valid. Last year and last year as well, you could have moved between sections at any point of time in the paper. So it's a way to scare the students, yes, but do ensure that you are practicing within this limit as well, because we don't know how the IIMs decide to set out the paper pattern. Next, some other important stuff about IPMAT Rohtak. So one of the best things about IPMAT Rohtak, which I feel, is that it strikes a balance between time and difficulty. If you look at NMIMS, you need to answer 120 questions in 100 minutes. If you look at IPMAT Indore, the difficulty level of questions is high. You've got to do Arun Sharma LOD2, the tough questions as well, to crack this paper. But for IPMAT Rohtak, it's a delicate balance which it has striked. There are moderate to difficult questions and there's 1 minute for each question. So that's a great part looking at the entrance test. Moving on, how the marking for the questions is done. Every right answer is marked with a +4 and every incorrect answer is marked with a -1. So what this means for you is that the maximum marks you can get in IPMAT Rohtak is 480. But on the bottom side, this also means that the minimum marks you can get is in the negatives, a -120. Sorry. Next, as I mentioned before, in the previous years, you have been allowed to switch between different sections during the paper. Although this may not be the case in your year. We don't know how the IIMs prepare the paper and we can never test the process, so always prepare for the worst. Next, the mode of the test. It will be a computer-based test, but will be in an exam center. Might I add, you will not be provided with a calculator. For this, last year IPMAT Indore did provide a calculator, but IPMAT Rohtak did not, so do not expect it this year as well.